What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Red.Beard Outdoors podcast. I'm Jonathan, your host, and today, as part of the Why First Phorm Outdoors episodes, we've got Brandon Willet. Brandon is an awesome dude. He went to the November Knockdown Challenge twice, which is a huge accomplishment to even make it there once. But he went twice to the finals and competed and crushed it and left his guts out there on the field. Did everything that he could, and he absolutely loves archery. He loves getting in the outdoors. He's out here in Utah with me, and so he loves the mountains, the steep, crazy Wasatch Front that we've got here, and everything else. And so, on top of all of that, he owns multiple businesses and has a family. So Brandon's a little crazy, probably has a screw loose in the head, but love him nonetheless because he's an awesome dude and just crushes it at life. So with that being said, Brandon, for people that don't know who you are, who are you?
All right, thanks, Jonathan. Yeah, like you said, I'm Brandon Willet, live here in Midway, Utah. Have four kids and a wife, oldest being 13, and then my daughter being 11, and then 9 is my second oldest boy, and then my youngest boy being 6. We're very active with sports. I've got all three of the boys play baseball, and my daughter plays softball, so we like the baseball world. A little bit of wrestling fits in there in the wintertime as well. So, and then yeah, like on top of that, you said I do own two businesses, part owners in a CrossFit gym here in Heber, and then I own an epoxy coatings company doing epoxy flooring and polished concrete. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. Grew up in Heber and I still live here. So
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I honestly, I don't understand how you could do all of those things. You know, I run, I've got my job, but then I've got the podcast, but honestly, the podcast is not, it's really not as difficult as owning like an epoxy business or a gym or anything like that. That it's definitely very different and a lot more lax. So my hat's off to you for that and keeping up with your kids' activities, which is also something that is insanely hard to do sometimes in and of itself, let alone having everything else going on. And enjoying hunting, which takes away
yeah.
time and finances from the family and everything else that you've got going on. So yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot going on here. So but with that, I guess I want to dive in real quick. So you guys won't know this, but we had a almost an hour long conversation that you guys don't get to hear. So boohoo, sorry. But we're re-recording. Brandon did awesome in that conversation. I think it was just a great conversation overall. But he texted me, was like, I was feeling kind of drained and want to re-record. And I said, no, man, it was great. And I went to go download it and start editing and everything. And I look at it, I'm like, I think Brandon sabotaged that on purpose so that I wouldn't use it because
Somehow.
we something happened to where we weren't able to get the full recording done. So we're re-recording now. You guys get a little bit more of an abbreviated conversation this time around. But I do want to kind of find out like your story as far as how you got into fitness, and then we'll get into how you got into archery. Obviously, those two things combined led to getting to the November Knockdown finals 2 years in a row through First Phorm, and then we'll wrap it up with your top 3 reasons why First Phorm is your go-to as far as community and company and supplements. When obviously you've tried so many other ones, owning a gym and going through fitness. So let's start there. Where does your fitness journey start for you? Where did it start?
So, I mean, through high school, I was always really active. I wrestled through high school, so fitness just was kind of part of that. Played baseball through high school as well. But I'd say after high school, it kind of dropped off. I might hit the gym here and there, and then eventually, my workout was just going up on the mountain and hunting. And I got to a point where we hiked in, we did a long backpack trip in, and I was just drained. Like I was like,
Mm.
holy cow, I've got to do something. So I kind of started looking at the gym and then never really, I guess, did anything about it until we had it was our third kid. So my second oldest boy, Hunter, at that point, let's back up a little bit. Just before we had him, I decided I was going to get fit with the Wii Fit. That was the big rave at the time. Everyone's getting the Wii Fit, everyone's getting in shape. So I bought one, sat down, did the push-up challenge and everything on it. Lasted about a week, and then the thing just started collecting dust. The next time I stepped on it, it was like, did the little woo, you've gained some weight, and I was like, oh crap, like I just let it go. So I actually joined a local CrossFit gym and started my fitness journey there through CrossFit, which I loved. And then also played a lot of slow pitch softball that I was playing with an older gentleman. He was old enough to be our dads, and I was like, you know what, this would be so cool if I could step on a baseball field with my kids when they're old enough to play. So big part of it. And then obviously trying to get my kids out in the outdoors and be able to hike and keep up with them once they get old enough. That's kind of how it all started, but CrossFit kind of pushed me along and got me into the shape that I am today.
I love it. That's awesome. I think we all kind of go through our different journeys and experience different types of fitness and find what works and what doesn't. I'll be honest with you, I've tried the CrossFit style stuff, and there's something about, for me, getting a pump, like a bodybuilding style pump, that
Yeah.
that does it for me. CrossFit,
Yeah.
killing yourself for 15 to 20 minutes, I just get this headache afterwards that I'm like, I don't know. and maybe it's because I haven't done it enough or whatever. And it's fun, like every once in a while, to go and do something like that, and to do it with some good
Yeah.
friends, and to kind of do it for fun. But like, I tried it for about 6 months of just trying to make CrossFit a thing for me, or CrossFit style. Everyone says CrossFit, but that GPP, general physical preparedness style
Yep.
workout, and less bodybuilding style workouts. And it just, I don't know, there's definitely a lot of benefit to it, but it's like, for me, running almost, where it's like, I just am not,
Oh,
I don't know, it just wasn't a thing for me. But also on the other end, like, bodybuilding style workouts for me, with slow cardio, going for jogs every once in a while, and then the lengthy sessions of weightlifting, it takes a lot more time to get the results. And
hmm.
so that also is a problem when you're trying to run multiple businesses, or have kids at different activities and such. And so it's just something that you got to find a balance, right? You got to get the most bang for your
Yep.
buck. And I do feel like CrossFit style workouts definitely give you a lot of bang for your buck compared to other style workouts. Sorry, one second, my dog's being dumb
Yeah.
here. But anyway, he's a little puppy. He's only one, just barely turned one, so we're
Oh,
still
that's
figuring,
fun.
still figuring things out here. He heard
He
me
needs
talking about it.
attention.
Let's see if I can. Yeah, there we go. There's the 10 pounds of fury right there. We got Zeus
Oh,
into the
that's
chat.
awesome.
I know, right? I told his max healthy weight is supposed to be right around 12 pounds. So I told my wife, if he doesn't get to 12 pounds, I'm putting creatine and Formula One in his food. We're gonna bulk him up.
That'll bulk him up. That'll bulk him up.
Exactly.
Uh,
But no, in all reality, man, the CrossFit style, going from like We Fit and doing other things, and everyone kind of goes through their ebbs and flows of their fitness journey. You've obviously found something that works for you really well, and obviously now you own a gym and you stock 1st Phorm supplements in the gym. But with
yes.
the gym, how did you come about owning a gym? Like, how'd you go from We Fit to owning a CrossFit style
To
gym?
owning it. That's a great question, because I never envisioned myself owning a gym. Even when I was approached, to, hey, do you want to buy partnership in the gym? I was kind of like, yeah, that'd be cool. And never really, I guess, put real thought into it, like what it was going to
Yeah.
take. And I never really had a desire to be a trainer and teach a
Mm.
class. I just like, sure, basically buying a membership for 5 years, is how
Yeah.
I kind of looked at it. But then as I got more involved and I went and got my level one, I realized how much I actually enjoyed seeing people progress and people come in that, were maybe scared of fitness or scared of CrossFit, or just had a hard time getting in the door. And the environment and the community that's built there. And I just talking to one of the members today, he's like, I honestly don't even come, I enjoy the fitness side of it, but I come here for like the social hour. If I didn't have this community here, he's like, I would be in a mental home right now, so that just means a lot, when you can get a community like that together. And so it really did change my view on just owning a gym. Like I
Mm.
said, at first when I bought in, I was just buying a membership for a couple of years, and just kind of see how it went for there. And it actually gave me a lot more passion for fitness than I realized.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And yeah, that's definitely another big thing for CrossFit style workouts or group fitness is the social aspect, which is a great thing. Trying to keep people involved and on their fitness journey, you got to have a community of some sort, whether that's a virtual community
Yeah.
or a community in person. It definitely makes a difference having a community there to either share your gains, your losses, everything that you've got going on. It's definitely a big thing to it as well. So with that, so you decided to go on this journey of owning a gym. And what got you into archery?
Oh, so I grew up hunting as a kid. We didn't archery hunt though. I mean, I think I got a bow when I was 12 years old and just kind of shot in the backyard. I grew up on 10 acres, so I might go chase deer, around in the sagebrush, but never took it really serious. And then kind of lost interest in it um, for a while. And then it was probably 10 years ago. I'm like, you know what? This archery thing sounds fun. I'm gonna buy a bow. So I got on eBay and found a bow that was my draw length. It was a Matthews switchback, which at the time was a couple years older for the bow, but
Mhm.
everyone was like, "Hey, this is a bow that's ahead of its time." So I was like, "Yeah, that'll work. That'll get
Everyone
me
still loves that bow,
introduced."
man.
Yeah, it's a great bow. I actually sold it to a buddy who still has it. So but yeah, it didn't break the bank. It was 400 or 500 bucks to get the bow fully set up with arrows, and then just kind of started shooting in the backyard. And here in Utah, as you know, we have a program called the Dedicated Hunter. Well, I was like, I'm just going to do a dedicated hunter. That way I don't have to throw all my marbles into archery hunting, and I can still rifle hunt, which I enjoy to
Mhm.
do. And from there, I think I probably went 3 or 4 years, and we might spend a day or two up on the mountain hunting with our bows. And then it was, we were ready for the rifle hunt. Probably that fourth or fifth year, I was like, all right, I'm going to take this serious. I want to kill an elk with my bow. And went in. I was sitting on. It was the last day of the hunt. I was sitting on some water. I'd hunted hard all the whole hunt. I had a cousin that had a big bull tag, so me and him were up there together. And some cows came in onto the water, and I shot my first elk at like 47 yards. And I was like, "Holy cow, I'm hooked!" That's all I needed. The next year, I ended up drawing a big bull tag on the Wasatch and shot a bull at like 6 yards. Called it into 6 yards and shot it,
Wow.
and now I don't even want to pick up my rifle. It's all archery, and I'll get my boy out with his rifle, but he'll soon be with packing around the bow as well. So
I love that. That's an awesome journey. And honestly, I feel like a lot of people, I don't know, I feel like you got lucky because it can go one of two ways with buying bows online. You can have those scumbags that
oh, I got
that
lucky.
that just sell you crap or a dry fired bow or
Yeah,
they lie about this, that, or the other. I always recommend to people if you're gonna buy a bow online, at least have them meet you at a bow shop and be willing to pay the bow
yeah,
shop for their time, 20 minutes or so to just look over or $20 to look over the bow and make sure that it fits you. And if it doesn't fit you, that they have the mods or ability to change it so that it can fit you. Yeah, you definitely got lucky. Yeah.
yeah. No,
uh,
knowing what I know now, I would never do that because it's like I said. I think I just measured myself, my wingspan. I said, yeah, I'm a
mhm.
27-inch draw. Got on eBay. They said it was a 27-inch draw. I didn't even take it in and have the peep adjusted or anything. I just started flinging arrows, and yeah, now I would
Yeah,
recommend same thing. Hey, go to Wild Arrow, let them set you up. They have some used bows, or a local bow shop will have used bows, but they'll know that it's a good bow. They can change the cam out if it's needed
yeah,
really quick and get it set up to where you're shooting it and you're more comfortable with it. But yeah, I got crazy lucky there.
yeah. You definitely got lucky on that one. It might cost, and this is something else too that I address with people. It might cost you a little bit more to go to a bow shop, especially a good one. And again, Wild Arrow, I can't recommend them enough. If it wasn't for them, I honestly could, with almost 100% certainty, say I wouldn't be into archery the way that I am now. I would still be hunting.
Hmm.
I'd probably be a lot more into rifles and everything, but they were a big catalyst for me dealing with my questions, and they were I'd say educated questions. I wasn't just going in and be like, okay, what's the best bow? But like, going in when it's not busy, making sure that, they're not with a customer and getting frustrated if they're, busy, but going in when they're not busy and sitting down with the guys and kind of walking through things, testing out different bows and going in with a budget in mind, because I really love and respect this about Jeremiah and the crew over at Wild Arrow. They're not going to sit there and try and sell
Mhm.
you like the bow you just bought, the nicest top of the line carbon bow. They're not going to necessarily go for that. If someone's coming in for the first time,
Yep.
they're going to say, what's your budget? Okay, perfect. Here's the best that you can get within that budget, because and it's not even at that point money for them. It's they want you to stay in the sport. And if you buy a piece of garbage bow from Amazon or some big box store and it blows up on you, you're not going to stay into archery, you know. And so I've
Yep.
seen that time and
Yeah.
time again that they come in. They definitely don't make any money off of used bows. I can definitely attest to that. Or even last year's models, they almost blow those things out. Like they don't make much money on that, or even the lower budget friendly bows. It's more of a they want you to stay in the sport. They want you to get the best quality,
Yeah.
and you're not going to get that again from most big box stores and from some unfortunately pro shops. But if you got a good pro shop around you or someone that knows what they're doing, take the time. And if you got to spend just a little bit extra money, definitely do it. It's worth it. And the relationship that you build it can't be matched.
Yeah. The guys down there are awesome. I always rave about how it doesn't matter if you've been shooting bows for 10 years or it's your first time walking in there. They give you their full attention. It's you want to talk about broadheads, Jeremiah or any of the other guys down there will go through every broadhead. Hey, this is why I like this one. This is why I like this one. This is why I like
Hmm.
this one. So you might, like you said, pay a little bit more, but you're paying for that knowledge. And I try to bring that side of business into flooring as well, because it's the same way. You can go buy a
Hmm.
do-it-yourself epoxy kit at Home Depot and do your garage floor yourself. And I'm going to be a lot more expensive than that, but I take different processes that you may not have the tools to do um,
Right.
to complete that project right. And the guys at Wild Arrow set that standard very well. You go in there, and I go in there, I'm like, I'm just going to drop a bow off and be really quick. 3 hours later, I'm walking. I'm finally leaving there. So
Yeah. Yeah.
good
My
guys.
wife knows if she calls me and I'm at Wild Arrow, she's like, all right, am I coming up to see you there, or do I just need to say I'm going to see you in a couple hours? I love going up there and
Yes.
helping the guys out. And every once in a while, if you guys go up there, you'll see me in there, usually in some gym clothes or something, but I try and help out with customer service side. You don't necessarily want me touching your bow. I can help you in the range and stuff like that, but I am definitely not a bow tech. So I can walk you through all the knowledge points and broadheads and arrows and all that stuff. But I'll hand your bow off to someone that knows more than I do whenever you need some bow tech stuff. So, but yeah. So with that, again, fitness and archery for me kind of go hand in hand. And one of my buddy that got me into archery as well said the same thing after I'd had a little success with a rifle. He said, you're into fitness. You're okay with not that you're okay with failure, but you don't like throw your gun whenever you miss or you can't get in close to the animal or whatever. Like you don't get pissy about it. You're like, okay, what can I do? What can I do better next time? And he was like, you like challenge and you like getting close to the animal, not flinging lead at 1,000 yards. So, he's like, you should get into archery. And I feel like those are three pretty key things to keep in mind when you get into archery, because your rate of success is going to go way down. It just is. Whether you're even if you're like me and you're willing to on the last week of season fill your tag with a doe, it's still not guaranteed.
Yep.
It's something that archery is definitely difficult. You got to play the wind a little bit more. You got to be a little bit more stealthy. You have to you got to make sure everything's level, especially when you're shooting out here. You got to make sure your bubble's level
Hmm.
and your grip is good. And because every little thing is going to change the way that arrow comes out of the bow, in turn, going to change when you throw a broadhead on the end of it. And so you
Yeah.
definitely have to incorporate all those things. But you've definitely found a good balance of everything with fitness and archery. And what would you say to someone that maybe is wanting to get into either one or both this upcoming year here in 2025? Where would you tell people to start as far as their fitness and archery?
On the fitness side, I think you just need to find something you love. I was sitting down with one of my sales reps today, and he was telling me how he's lost a little bit of weight and he's, started to diet and work out a little bit. And I said, that's great. I said, like especially the diet side of
Mhm.
fitness, that'll come, but you need to find something that gets you into the gym, whether it's CrossFit, it can be just going for a 30-minute walk or a ruck. Like honestly, rucking is very underrated. I think it's a great mental and physical workout. It could be going to just your local Gold's Gym and getting a good pump in. It's
Mhm.
whatever works for you that's going to motivate you to keep going in and day out, and set that trying to think of what I'm trying to say. Not the bar, but get in a routine to where it's,
A habit.
you can't
Yeah.
go with it. Yes, a habit. There you go. Once you set that habit, then when you miss, you know, you're gonna go, crap, I missed the gym today. I need to get a workout in. Um, and so get it into a habit, and then it's going to be harder to break that habit. But getting started, I think you just need to find something that you love to do, and that'll help that become a habit. And then as far as
I agree.
archery goes, or
I definitely agree.
even just yeah, as far as hunting or archery goes, I mean, just getting out there. There's lots of YouTube information that you can get on as far as like, you got Elk Nut, Corey Jacobson, Elk Shape, all those guys that have a ton of information that can get you started. So, take in all that knowledge, pick yourself up a gun or a bow, whatever system you want to do, and just get after it. The more time you spend out in the woods, the more you're going to learn and the more successful you'll be. But if you're only going out, 1 or 2 days for the hunt, and then I didn't see anything and given up, then it's not going to be fun. Like I can tell you that. But you spend a week out there, 2 weeks out there, every weekend, as many hours as you can. When you have that success, it's like, holy cow, that was so worth it, and it's more rewarding. It's definitely more rewarding. So if it was easy and you could just go out and shoot the first thing you saw every time, I don't think many people would be doing it. You just don't get those experiences, that you get if you're spending a lot of time out there,
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with you on that too. It's something that it takes time, archery, especially
especially
compound or even
archery.
trad bow. It's just something that it takes time to develop good and make sure I'd even throw in there, make sure you have some kind of coach, whether that's again, this is
Yeah.
where you can go into a pro shop and get some coaching when you buy the bow. And you might even be able to, again, just pay a little bit extra for them to walk back in the range with you and just walk through some basic things that you need to practice. They'll video you so that when you go home and practice or wherever it is that you go practice, you can watch that video and repeat what you were doing. And that's something that's really key too, is finding good habits and creating those good habits and not having to unlearn bad habits later down the line. That's something
Yes.
that I'd highly recommend too, because you don't want to be that guy that picks up a bow, goes out to hunt that same year and is flinging arrows, not knowing what distance you're comfortable with, screwing on broadheads right before you go to hunt, thinking that it's going to fly the same as your field points, and then and blacking out when an animal walks in front of you, forgetting to look through your peep sight, not remembering what
Yeah.
pin you looked at whenever you put, like, there's so many things that I hear that I'm like, that yeah, that's crazy, but I can see why that
Yeah.
would happen for people.
Yeah, I've got
And
a quick story on that. I have a buddy that just got into hunting. But he came up on my big bull hunt. Never grew up hunting anything like that.
mm,
Came out with us. He heard an elk bugle, one time, and he's like, "Oh my
mm,
gosh, this is I've got to get it." So he went and got his hunter safety, started coming out with us. And just like that, like he grew up in Utah and had never
mm,
hunted. And we have a lot of hunting out here. So if you can find a friend or someone close to you that you can go out with. And so he started hunting with me, and his first year out, we kicked some cow elk out. And we'd been shooting the bows a lot. We went and got them all set up. And um, but that adrenaline rush that you get, your mind is kind of, and that's why I do like fitness and archery combo together, like the first form outdoor games, because it kind of helps you with some of these situations. Not always, because I've missed two elk this year, so I can't say it's perfect, but it does help. but he went to go knock an arrow or draw back his bow on this cow. I ranged at like 36 yards, and I look over at him, and he's going to draw his bow back with no arrow. And I'm like, hey, you need an arrow. And he's like, what? I'm like, you need an arrow. Put an arrow in your bow. And so now he's got his release hooked to the D loop, and he's trying to grab his arrow.
Mhm.
The meantime, this elk's just standing there looking at us. And I eventually drew back and ended up shooting it. But he's just like, I can't believe I forgot an arrow. And it's just, yeah, it's just funny how that kind of stuff can work. But if you're training for it and, like you're saying, going through the reps, watching videos, and you make everything a habit, same thing as going to the gym, then when the situation all comes together, because it happens really quick, you can go 7 days without seeing elk, and then all of a sudden, just like that, it happens. Like you're at
Oh
least
yeah.
somewhat prepared for it.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. Yeah. And that's where, doing some kind of workout, you can't ever 100% imitate that without actually
yeah.
going and maybe going to Texas where you can pay. It's basically pay to play. You can go down there and say, hey, I want to shoot a handful of does. And you get used to having the animals there in front of you in more of a controlled environment. And you can represent, what that would be like getting an animal in front of you and having to draw back, etc., with a little bit less pressure. But if you don't have that opportunity or don't have the funds to go do that in the off season, it's definitely good to, raise your heart rate and practice your breathing and partially imitate what it's like to get an animal in front of you when you've got a high heart rate, the adrenaline dump that you get, a bunch of other chemicals that happen. It's something, again, it's hard to imitate, but there are some ways that you can. Having your buddies, going out and shooting with your buddies that just talk crap to you the whole time, just
Yes.
talking smack and getting in your way when you're trying to shoot the bow, like just talking about how you're going to miss and keeping in your ear chirping away. That's something too that can help, so you can get used to dialing in and
Yep.
focusing and forgetting everything else around you that's going on and going through your process. Those are all things that have helped me personally. And even then, there's still
Yes.
times where I find myself about to draw back, not on an animal, but just getting in the repetition of it. Just I sometimes have to look down and make sure I have an arrow knocked, because sometimes that
Yeah.
can be something that gets forgotten and that could ruin a bow or ruin your day or whatever.
Real
Um,
quick. Real
yeah,
quick.
exactly, exactly. But yeah, so with that being said, give us real quick your top 3 reasons why you've chosen First Form as your partner in crime with getting through your fitness journey, stalking them in the gym. Why that and the community and everything else. What are your top 3 reasons why, if someone came up to you and said, "Hey, give me your elevator spiel on First Form and why them when there's so many other supplement companies out there?"
Yeah, so First Form's an awesome company. I didn't even know about First Form until it's been, well, 2.5 years ago. I found out about them through the November Knockdown Challenge. Had Lacey and Luke, they actually sent me. I had competed in a competition with them earlier in that year. It's kind of a fitness archery competition as well. They tagged me on a First Form Outdoors, hey, this is a contest. You should sign up for it. I signed up for it. Didn't really have time because we had some tags out in Colorado with my oldest boy. Came back. I had 1 week left to compete in the final week, and it was a little bit different the first year than it was the second year. So I only, you could qualify with one workout, and I spent, my wife will tell you, we were in the gym for 8 hours. I did
Mm.
that workout. It was run 30 yards, grab an arrow, run back, shoot it, run back down, grab the arrow. You did that 4 times, and obviously you got time deducted. And I think I shot my best score like the first or second time. And then I sat in there for 7 more hours trying to beat that score. Ended up actually
Yeah.
tying. Funny, I ended up tying with Clint on that workout, and they said, we waited for the results to come out Monday and they didn't come out. Tuesday they didn't come out, and then Wednesday they're like, we've been reviewing the videos over and over again, and these guys, they both released their arrow and they got the exact same score. So they ended up taking both of us out there, and that was kind of my introduction to First Form. And when I got out there, just the community and everything, all the people there, like, it honestly makes the hair on my arms, stand up. They're just, everyone's so caring there. You bump into someone, they want to have an in-depth conversation. They want to get to know you. And so it was just super eye-opening. With that too, learning as I'm waiting to go out to First Form, I started listening to Andy Frisella, who owns First Form. And that honestly is kind of what pushed me to where I am today. Like I haven't always owned, a gym. I haven't always owned a concrete coatings company. I used to make concrete chemicals for a company, and it was actually for my father-in-law. And then a big corporation came in and bought us out. And I tried that, big corporation life for a couple of years, and I just couldn't get on board with it. I was, spending more time behind a computer and doing PowerPoint presentations, and I like to physically be working and listening to a lot of Andy Frisella's MFCEO, and just, I always told myself, well, now's not the right time to start your own business. Now's not the right time to do it. Wait until after COVID, or wait until after this. And it finally was like, he's like, it's never going to be a good time. You just have to do it. You just have to commit to it, and you just have to do it. And I was like, went out there and I came back and I put my 2 weeks notice in, and I jumped into a concrete coatings business. And, I had some background in it, and here I am today running the business. So the community and just the overall, the people there are amazing. And then besides that, I won a $500 gift card with the First Form Outdoors, brought in some supplements. So like I've tried a lot of supplements. Started to test their stuff out, and I'm not going to sell anything that I don't really believe in. So I went, probably 2 months of trying their stuff out. And I'll tell you what, if you're going to use one of their supplements, it's the Formula One and the Ignition post workout. Like that stuff, not only does it taste good, but you'll see results from it. I instantly started seeing, PRs go up. I was recovering faster. I wasn't sore. And they have a bunch of different flavors. And most of the time, you can gravitate towards one flavor of a protein company. And you're like, yeah, it's pretty good. But after a while, you get sick of it. These guys have all sorts of combos. I mean, you've got chocolate, you've got vanilla, you've got root beer float, which is by far the weirdest protein flavor I think I've ever heard of, until I tried it. And I was like, this stuff's amazing. We sell a ton of root beer float stuff. And then, you got the strawberry, like a mixed strawberry. Now I start mixing them. Oh, I want a scoop of vanilla, a scoop of chocolate, and make Reese's, or vanilla and peanut butter and make a Nutter Butter. Like, there's so many different combinations. And they have the new Formula One Clear that just came out, which is amazing as well.
Yeah,
So
right here.
Yes, yes. So the actual flavor, and not only do they taste good, but they really do work. I mean, the collagen's amazing. There's a whole line, and if you listen to a lot of Andy Frisella, like he's very precise. I want to use the top of the line ingredients. Our supplements might cost a little bit more. Yeah, we don't give discounts, but it's because you're paying for the premium. Like you're paying for stuff that we believe in. And so getting to know all that is what made me bring the supplements into the gym as well. I'm like, I can stand behind this company. Like I know they work. I know they taste good. And I want everyone else to enjoy this as well. So those would probably be the first two reasons. And then the third is just the amount of support that you get from the company there. Like I'm not on the Legionnaire side, but I know they have a lot of in-depth trainings and education that you can keep following up on. They do offer some of that to the wholesalers. I know I can call my rep up, Noah, at any time if I have questions about anything, and he's going to talk to me. And we're not only talking about supplements. Like the last time we talked, we've probably spent 30 or 40 minutes just talking about him coming out to Utah and seeing Lake Powell, because he had a bunch of questions about Lake Powell. Like, dude, you got to come out here and see Lake Powell. Like, I'll personally take you out on the boat, So they, like I said, just a great people. And yeah, they continuing education. You can't sell their supplements, even being a wholesaler. I couldn't sell the supplements without going into an in-depth interview with them, and them knowing that, hey, I actually have a testimony of these supplements and I'm using them. So just overall, very well-rounded company. And I don't know if there's a company out there that beats them.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Yeah, the community, the education behind it, the supplements actually work. They're not just full of fillers and bull crap. it's definitely something that I recommend to people as well. Obviously, there's the 110% money back guarantee as well. So if you're stuck on a supplement company that you really like, maybe you're interested in trying that root beer float or whatever, some other odd flavor, or the Formula One clear, or anything like that, rest assured you'll be taken care of. If you get it and you genuinely don't like it, you will be taken care of by First Form. They'll make sure that you get back your money or swap it out for a different flavor if there's something going on there, but you will be taken care of. So yeah, no, I mean, I couldn't agree with you more on any of those aspects that you brought up about First Form and hunting and fitness and everything else you've got going on. So with that being said, I guess, is there anything else we haven't touched on that maybe you want to bring up?
No, that I can really think of.
Awesome. Well, guys out there listening, honestly, I highly recommend you go and check out Brandon's page. If you're in the Utah area, definitely go and check out Brandon's gym. We'll leave the links down below where you can find Brandon and everything that he's got going on. Also, come and join us over at the First Form Outdoors Facebook group. The First Form Outdoors Facebook group is something that honestly is just, it's a great community of individuals. So you don't have to be into archery, you don't have to be into hunting or anything like that. They've got mountain bikers, runners, moms, single moms, married moms, people that are busy like Brandon, just things that are going on that you can relate with is what I'm trying to get to, is that there's people from all walks of life, East Coast, West Coast, Midwesterners, Northerners. We've got everything in there. So good mix of everyone, and everyone just has the same spirit of, we want everyone else to succeed. We want you to have the best opportunity possible to get the results that you want in whatever it is that you're pursuing, whether it's weight loss, whether it's running a marathon, whether it's going out hunting, learning archery, whatever. Come and join that group. You definitely want to get in that group so you can meet those people. So with that being said, Brandon, again, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. And I hope you have a great day. And like I always say, guys, get out, live your life, and love it.
Thanks, Jonathan.